Welcome to a deep dive into Nar Anon.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack this organization and see how it can support families like yours who are dealing with the impact of a loved one's addiction. You've brought us an interesting article to dig into today, and I'm eager to hear our expert's perspective on all of this.
Well, it's important to remember that addiction doesn't just affect the individual. It ripples outward, impacting families and friends in really profound ways. So, diving into Narnan and understanding its approach can be incredibly valuable for anyone navigating this challenging terrain.
Okay, so this article paints a picture of Nar-Anon as kind of a lifeline for families grappling with a loved one's drug addiction. It specifically mentions a 12-step program similar to what you'd see in Narcotics Anonymous. Can you tell us more about that? What makes Nar-Anon's approach stand out?
You see, while Narnan shares the foundation of the 12 steps with NA, its focus is distinctly different. Narnan centers on the experience of the family, recognizing that addiction is a family disease. It impacts everyone. Everyone deserves support and guidance in navigating their own journey.
That's a really powerful way to put it, a family disease. It reminds us that everyone involved is affected, each with their own set of challenges and emotions. The article touches on this ripple effect, listing potential consequences for families dealing with addiction. Things like relationship breakdowns, financial strain, even legal issues.
Exactly. And
And
that's where Narnan steps in. They provide a space specifically for those who love someone struggling with addiction, whether it's a family member or a close friend.
so it's about finding support and solace in a community that understands the unique struggles families face. It's not just about the individual battling addiction, it's about the entire ecosystem around them.
Precisely. Naranon provides a space for families to process their own experiences, learn coping mechanisms, and find strength in shared understanding.
And what about the different types of meetings Nar-Anon offers? This article mentions speaker meetings, step meetings, and beginner meetings. It even mentions business meetings and group conscience meetings.
Wow.
It sounds like they've got something for everyone no matter where they are in their journey. Can you tell me more about these different meeting types?
What's fascinating here is how Naranon recognizes that one size fits all simply doesn't work when it comes to support. Each meeting type serves a unique purpose, catering to the diverse needs within families grappling with addiction. Some people find solace in hearing others' stories in speaker meetings, while others thrive on the structured approach of the 12-step work done in step meetings.
And I imagine those group conscience meetings are particularly interesting, almost like they've built in a system for self-reflection and improvement.
You're spot on. It's all about staying connected to the needs of the community they serve. By incorporating feedback and making adjustments based on what members share in these group conscience meetings, Naranon ensures that the program remains a relevant and helpful resource.
So they're constantly assessing if they're truly meeting the needs of their members. That speaks volumes about their commitment to providing effective support. It's like they're saying, we're here to listen and adapt to make sure this program serves you in the best way possible.
Absolutely. And this ties into another crucial aspect of Naranon that the article highlighted: anonymity.
Mm.
In a setting like this where vulnerability is key, knowing you can share openly without judgment can be incredibly empowering.
That makes perfect sense. Anonymity can be such a game changer, especially when you're dealing with something as sensitive and often stigmatized as addiction. It creates that safe space for honesty, allowing people to let go of shame and connect with others on a deeper level.
Exactly. It fosters an environment of trust and understanding, which is paramount in the healing process.
Speaking of healing, I was struck by how much the article emphasized the power of the support network that Nar-Anon provides. It's one thing to read about it, but can you give me a sense of what that actually looks like? What does that support system offer?
Imagine being surrounded by people who truly understand that complex mix of emotions you're experiencing: the worry, the frustration, the feeling of helplessness. Sharing those burdens with others who get it is invaluable. It reduces isolation, builds resilience, and reminds you that you're not alone in this journey.
It's like that saying, a burden shared is a burden halved. Having that space to connect with others who understand can make all the difference. And it sounds like Nar-Anon doesn't just stop at emotional support. This article also mentions practical coping skills as a key takeaway. What kind of tools and strategies does Nar-Anon offer families to help them navigate the challenges of addiction?
It's one thing to offer a shoulder to cry on, which is incredibly important, but Narnan takes it a step further. They equip families with tangible skills and strategies that empower them to handle difficult situations more effectively. They help you move from a place of reaction to a place of action.
That's so important. It's about feeling empowered instead of feeling powerless in the face of addiction. Because let's be honest, addiction can cast a pretty long shadow.
It can feel incredibly overwhelming, but Nar Anon reminds you that you have strength, you have options, and there's a path forward, even when the road seems incredibly difficult.
It's about finding light in some of the darkest of times and knowing that you don't have to navigate those dark times alone.
And that's where the accessibility of Nar Anon's resources comes in. They really emphasize removing barriers to seeking support. Yeah. You mentioned earlier the variety of meeting types, but it goes beyond that. The article highlighted how easy it is to find a meeting through the Nar Anon website. They're essentially saying help is out there, and it's easier to access than you might think.
That's so crucial, especially when someone is feeling lost and unsure of where to turn. It's about offering that hand of support and saying, we're here for you and we're ready to walk alongside you.
Exactly. There's a real emphasis on creating a welcoming and inclusive community where individuals and families can find guidance, understanding, and hope for a brighter future.
Hope. That's such a powerful word in this context. Knowing that there's a place where you can find hope, support, and practical advice when facing the challenges of addiction is huge. But sometimes just knowing where to turn isn't enough. Sometimes the hardest step is admitting you need help in the first place. This article didn't shy away from that struggle. It talked about the ripple effects of addiction, how it can impact trust, finances, even lead to legal issues for families.
It is a lot, and it highlights why Nar Anon's approach is so vital. They're not just addressing the individual's addiction, they're addressing the systemic impact on the family unit. They understand that healing and recovery need to happen on multiple levels.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, addiction is a family disease. And Nar Anon recognizes that healing needs to happen for everyone involved, not just the individual struggling with substance use.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that each person within the family unit has their own journey, their own struggles, and their own need for support.
And sometimes that journey begins with simply acknowledging that you're not alone.
Right.
You might be wondering, do I really need this? Can't I handle this on my own? And it's a valid question. But imagine the weight of that burden lifting even just a little by sharing it with others who truly understand.
That's where Nar Anon comes in. They offer that safe harbor, that space to breathe, to process, and to begin to heal.
I love how the article ends with this simple but powerful message. You don't have to cope alone. It's a beautiful reminder that there's always hope, even in the face of addiction's challenges.
It truly is. Nar Anon embodies that hope, offering a beacon of light and a path towards healing for families navigating this complex and often heartbreaking terrain.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Nar Anon, I keep thinking about those families out there who are right in the thick of it, maybe feeling overwhelmed and unsure of where to turn. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about reaching out, wrestling with that internal debate of, do I really need this?
That's a powerful question, and one I encourage anyone listening to sit with for a moment. If you're carrying the weight of a loved one's addiction, if you're questioning your role, your feelings, or simply your ability to cope, Nar Anon offers a space to explore those questions without judgment. Remember, you don't have to have all the answers to seek support. Sometimes the bravest step is simply reaching out.
It's about finding that strength to say, I need help, and knowing that there's no shame in that. There's a whole community out there ready to support you every step of the way.